Our immediate goal here is actually to build our code into the docs site, so let's start there. We'll go to the Build and Release tab and start the process to create a new build definition. When we do that, we're prompted for a template. You can see all of the different stock templates that VSTS supports out of the box, which is great. We're looking for a Python build for a Sphinx doc project, which isn't in the list. And not a problem, we'll start with the empty definition. What we get prompted for next is what will lead us to create our queue and agent. We need a machine of some sort that can perform the build, which means that it should have Python, Sphinx, the Read the Docs theme, and possibly the Recom and Mark package all installed already. You can see the options in the dropdown for the agent queue, and some of them may have what we need, but I'm happy to just have the build done on the machine where I actually know I've done the install of all the required items. So I'll hit the Manage link next to the agent queue label and keep working from there. You can see some of my previous experimentation and confirmation work here, but I'll be ignoring that and setting things up from scratch. I'll actually create a completely new queue called Read the Docs queue. And in this queue, I can put build agents capable of building Read the Docs Sphinx projects. I'll only put one in here, but you could add as many as you want with the steps that follow. When I create the queue, it shows me the list of agents, which is empty. I'll click the Download Agent, which might not be entirely intuitive to you. You're not downloading an existing agent, but rather agent software that will run an agent process on a target machine. Having clicked the button, I see some instructions that I can follow, along with tabs for other operating systems. I'll click the Download button, which will prompt me to save a file. Creating and configuring the agent will be done next, and I'll copy the PowerShell commands from here. There are detailed instructions about configuring the agent that will explain some of the rest of what I'll be doing. It basically amounts to running the PowerShell commands you see to create the agent, creating and copying a personal access token, and then running the configure command you see at the bottom here. To create a personal access token, you click on your picture or name indicator at the top right and choose the security option. Then just click Add to create a token. It will ask you for some information about your token, including a name, and I'll give it a descriptive name of Read the Docs Build and Deploy, since I'll use this token for a build agent and just a few minutes for a deploy agent. Then I'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Create Token. It warns me to copy the token now, that it won't be accessible to me after I leave this page. I'll copy the value so I can use it when we configure our build agent. Okay, now I'm in a PowerShell command window running as administrator. I'll go to the root C directory and create a new directory called agent and then go into that directory. Then I'll run the PowerShell command that the instructions gave me, which just extracts the download agent zip file to the directory that I'm sitting in now. This will take a minute or so and is pretty quiet when it runs. Once it's done, we can run the config command from right here. The first value we're prompted for is the server URL, which is the visualstudio.com subdomain for your overall VST instance. Mine is knowyourtoolset.visualstudio.com. The authentication type is PAT, so I can just press Enter, and then paste in the access token that I copied a second ago. Then I get prompted for the queue I want the new agent to be a part of, and I'll specify my Read the Docs queue. Then I'll use a custom name of EricSP4 for the agent name. Then it does a few checks, and everything looks good, and I get prompted whether to run the agent as a service. Specifying yes will run a service in the background that is always listening for build requests. Not running as a service means that I would need to come in here and run a command to manually start the agent and then stop it when I choose. I'll use the service option. I'll specify my local account here to run the service as. You can specify any account, local or domain, that would have access to the installed Python instance and packages we pulled. And that completes our build agent setup. We should now be able to circle back and create an actual build definition and have it run on our new agent. Join me in the next clip when we do just that.